Hi, this is Jimbo with Altcoin Buzz. Thanks for tuning in today on Saturday, the 2nd of November for our TA section. In today's video, we're going to be having a review of the Bitcoin charts as normal. I'm also going to glance my eyes over the chart of Link, BNB and Enj and see if we could decipher any clear points of action there on the altcoin charts. I also have the details of a subscriber-based giveaway to announce later on in this video. So if those things interest you and you want to find out what's going on in the market right now, I suggest you keep listening. First thing I want to point out, guys, is I didn't go into the monthly chart on our last video here on Bitcoin for the TA. I just wanted to point something out here on this chart, which I think is pretty significant now we've started our new monthly candle. Now what I see here is... Now, this is subjective. It's not 100% that it could play out this way. This monthly candle is going to be imperative to decipher the next big move for Bitcoin. Ignore the indicators for the moment, really. The only one that I'd hold massive strength to here on the monthly is the RSI and stochastic RSI. But those aside, I'm looking at the actual candle formation, and I'm wondering if we're seeing quite a large bull flag play out here. You can see that we've got our potential pole here for the bull flag, and now we've just formed the beginning of this candle as of yesterday, of course, the 1st of November yesterday. So this is very decisive now. Are we going to break up through this resistance and see a continuation of a bull flag pattern, which would be very, very bullish if we were to see that? Of course, when we are trying to measure a bull flag play out, we try and get the length of the the flag pole, which is about that length, and we overlay it at the breakout point. If this was to play out and we were to get a full breakout of this bull flag, we're looking at a target up towards the high end. Of course, these are monthly candles, so this could take some time to come to fruition, but that's giving us a target of towards our all-time high there at 19,890. Now, one thing I would say is whenever I see one of these sorts of formations, a candlestick formation play out, I always try and actually target 75% of the move rather than the whole flagpole, because if you set your sell up here, it's very unlikely that it's going to reach. But if you come 25% lower, yes, you're not going to get the whole move, but you're more likely to actually get your position filled or sold, or what your trade closed, whatever it is that you're looking to do. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just calling the charts as I see them and letting you know what I think about them. It's not financial advice. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to highlight that. Really interested to see where this monthly candle takes us and see if we get a continuation of a potential bull flag play out, which could see Bitcoin rally up towards all-time high if it plays out in that manner. But it's all down to this candle. Let's wait and see what happens. I'm going to dive now into the one-day chart. I'm going to switch over onto Coinbase. I only use the Coinbase chart for this because it just happened to be the one I had open when I did my first set of lines, and I think it's good to stick to at least one chart so you don't end up with loads of lines. And here's the formation we've been drawing out. Looks like we can probably take this line off now off the daily chart. But as you can see, we're still traveling within the blue and red line range that we highlighted in the previous video. Stochastic RSI looks like it might just be able to cross over back for another bullish push here. So it'd be interesting to see if that was to happen. And we've had no substantial break of the blue support line yet. So I think that's really interesting to keep an eye on. As you can also see, the 200, which is the red moving average here, the 200 moving average hasn't been broken. We've kept support above that, and interestingly, our 7 exponential moving average is now broken through the 50 and the 200 moving average. So these the orange and the green lines, they're exponential moving averages, and the red line is just a simple moving average. So interesting to see that the 7 is on the push up again and broken way past the 50, which I see is quite a bullish sign. And as was spot prices trading above this 50 daily EMA and the 200 moving average, as I said before, that's pretty bullish from my perspective. But we don't guess, we wait for a confirmational breakout, which would be a break of this red resistance line with some backed volume. So let's keep an eye on that range and see what happens. I'll just go down to the 4 hour. I won't do the 1 hour today. But as you can see on the 4 hour, we're still trading within that range. We've got our 50 still trending upwards. We've got our 7 well above our 50, and we are the 200 simple moving average is less important here on the 4-hour chart from my perspective. I'm more interested in these 2 exponential moving averages on this lower time frame. But as I said before, if we continue in this on this path, we're going to see a serious test of the support or the resistance at some point, and that will be backed by a move. So we keep an eye on that. We don't guess for the time being, or this is how I do things. I won't be guessing. I'll be waiting to see how this plays out, waiting for a breakout, because I'm fairly sure that once it breaks one of these lines, we're going to see some movement. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers Bitcoin today. Sat there at 9,277. I think our trading range is between 9,700 and 8,800. Any break of those two will be followed by a significant move, in my opinion. So guys, next we're going to dive and have a look into Chainlink against BTC here on Binance on the 4-hour chart. Guys, can this thing be stopped? How big is Chainlink going to be? I've seen people on Twitter, and we know that crypto Twitter is a bit crazy, but people calling out that this could outperform Bitcoin in its percentage moves until it comes to fruition. I'm not sure if that's completely correct. But it is good to see people so bullish on Chainlink, and they do have good technology, and you never know, could Chainlink be the next Ethereum of the bull run? It'd be worth watching. Now, why am I highlighting Chainlink here today? Well, we have come into a really tightening range, and you know how I feel about tightening ranges, guys. I think we're about to see some action. In fact, we might even be seeing it play out as we record. So as you can see, again, we've got our 200 moving average, we've got our 50 exponential moving average, and our 7 exponential moving average. And as you can see, they've been trading the price has been trading between the 50 and the 200. The range is getting tighter and tighter. This is being pushed into making a decision one way or another. Can we get any hints of which way it's going to go? Well, it looks like the stochastics have turned down to the downside. However, the RSI is still hovering around our 50 level, so no clear bearish or bullish indication just yet. But what we can see is price has just crossed down over that 200 moving average, and we are seeing a red candle form. This is only half an hour old, so this will be an important candle. I think there's a big bit of movement coming for Chainlink over the next day or two. I would keep an eye on this. If you're holding Chainlink, my perspective would be to be watching this closely. Personally, I would be playing this with a very tight stop loss. But if we did see a significant break of that 50 EMA to the bullish side, then I would be looking to get involved. As you can see here, guys, once we break the 7 and the 50 break and price gets above, we tend to see nice price action. We'll see it here demonstrated. Here's our 7 crossing our 50 and price crossing the 50. We had resistance at the 200 simple moving average, and once we broke above all of that, you can see we had a nice sustained price rise. So very, very interesting movement here on Chainlink, and it will be interesting to see if this forms a big red candle now, or if it stays as support and we see it go the other way to the bulls. So keep an eye on that if you're in Chainlink. At the moment, and it is a guess at this point, is going to say this is going to break this formation to the downside. That is only based on us seeing this red candle forming and the stochastics pointing red down at the moment. That could very quickly change. So if you're in Link or you're looking to get in Link, keep your eyes peeled. It's changing very quickly. Okay, so next into a BNB Bitcoin, again on the Binance daily chart. That was the 4-hour chart we looked at for Chainlink. This is the daily chart I want to focus in here on BNB. Why is that? Well, okay, another indicator that I tend to look for if I was looking to enter a position on an altcoin is sustained price action back over the 50 exponential moving average on the daily time frame. It tends to be a really good indicator for price action. If we go back, you can see that once we see these bumps and we see that the 50 exponential moving average starts to become clear support, we tend to have really nice big upshifts, and you can uptrends, and you can see it acts as support quite often. And again, when we do break the 50, you see the breakdown. So it's I think these sets of 3 lines, they work really well for me. I have good success using these lines. You guys might have some different ones, so if you do, put them down in the comment section, guys. I'd love to see what you guys are using and see if maybe you guys have got it a little bit more refined than me. But I tend to find these lines work really well. But anyway, the point is, on Binance Coin, we currently have the price sitting using the 50 EMA as support. We're getting a little bit of more a bit more of a horizontal trend line at the trading range at the moment, which will be interesting to see how that plays out, because there's a good chance that as this holds up, the longer this holds above the 50 EMA, the more likely we are to see it push up. And if it did push up and it did break above this 50 EMA, I wouldn't see it being completely out of the realms of question to see it test this 200 simple moving average, which is all the way up here at 229,000 satoshis. So let's keep an eye on this, guys, because if this does start to break, there's a long way for it to go. If it were to do that, let's just take a quick look and see. If we were to break from here and test that 200 moving average, it's going to have come down a little bit. You're looking at potentially a 30% increase if volume is backed by this jump off. So keep an eye on this, guys. Binance Coin could be in line to make some gains. Just my opinion, of course, not financial advice. Finally, we come to the last altcoin of the day, and that is Enjin coin. Now, guys, have a look at this range we've got forming here. Wow. Clear as anything if you follow the sort of technical analysis that I do in regards to tightening ranges and movement outside of tightening ranges, that this is getting tighter and tighter and getting squeezed into this price trading range. Once we break one way or the other out of this range, it is going to be backed by quite a lot of volume. It's less clear when we swap over to the daily chart because of how big the rise was before, but I just really want to highlight how important this is. Now, again, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not giving you financial advice, but when we talk about moonshot coins that could 10x blah 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 blah, we all hear about people talking about these hidden gems. We don't often factor in coins that are already within the top 100. I believe Enjin is still within the top 100 at the moment. Could be wrong about that, but we never factor in these coins. And I think, you know, you're looking here at potentially the easiest 10x in the market, or 9 to 10x in the market. You can see that once we had our news back here regarding Samsung, I believe this was at the time of the Samsung news release. Look, we've popped up there 600%. Now, you know, okay, so that's not a 10x, but my point's still valid. This is a product which already has a working, a project which already has a working product. They're already incorporated with some big global companies, for example, Minecraft. So, you know, you're looking at this chart, seeing it down here right at the lows, and I think this looks excellent. I mean, it depends what your strategy is. Are you a holder or are you a trader? Maybe wouldn't immediately shout this out for a trade if I was looking to enter as a trade, because as you can see on the daily, we've just been, you know, we're just fighting the 50 EMA. However, that being said, if I was looking at this as a hold, this is a hell of a place to dollar cost average, or Satoshi cost average, as you might put it, because look how low we are. We're in this huge high volume area. I'm sure if let's just have a quick look at this. Look, let me take the RSI off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay our VPVR. For those of you who don't know what the VPVR is, it is the volume profile per visible range. So we go to here on the volume profile. You will have to have at least a pro account on TradingView to be able to see this, but you could, I mean, this is pretty basic with so few bars. Let's add a few more rows onto this. Let's make it 200 rather than 24, just so we get a little bit more of a graphical representation there. And you can see we are trading right on this high volume node right now, and any break above this area is going to see a potential shoot up all the way to 1400. That's the next clear high volume node. We do have one here at just below 1000, but that actually coincides with the top of this triangle formation that we're trading in. And I think if we already break this resistance line in the triangle, then price is really going to pick up quickly, as it did previously over here. Let's go now, zoom in a little bit further back. It's going to be difficult because of how much that spike changes the graph. We're just going to hide this VPVR for a moment. Try not to get too close. There we go. So you can see here again, we were trading within a range. We had the support line getting higher and higher. And once we finally broke our resistance at the top there here at the 1254 range, absolutely shot up. And in fact, actually, we were moving even before that. And that's what I'm saying about how quickly these formations can break when you're on these tightening ranges, because, you know, there's an expectation level. If volume starts to come in very bullish, people aren't going to always wait for the breakout, especially if they're hodlers. They're going to be jumping in. I mean, of course, that one's slightly different because it was backed by that fundamental news from the Samsung announcement. However, that news hasn't changed. That's still there. The only thing that's changed is the price has come down significantly. So, guys, if you were looking for a time to enter ENJ as a hodler, or for a long position, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm taking serious interest of ENJ right now. So finally, guys, to end the video, I just want to give you guys a heads up about a giveaway that we're going to be starting on the channel as from next week, right here on the technical analysis section. We've actually found a very interesting hardware device for securing your cryptocurrency, but it's not a wallet. I don't want to give away too many details just now. They will follow. But if you're interested in having a chance of winning that device, make sure you're tuned in for the next video, and make sure you've smashed a like on this video for us. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you get that done. You'd be doing yourself a disjustice by not being subscribed to Altcoin Buzz. The news, the TA, there's so much here for content for you guys to enjoy. And if that's not enough for you on YouTube, get yourself over to the website altcoinbuzz.io. There's even more there. Alright guys, I think that's enough from me today. I'll see you later on down the trend line.